Hello, my friends in YouTube and LinkedIn. We're waiting, as you know, we're waiting a couple of seconds to make sure that StreamYard connects with my Facebook group so that we can go live. Awesome. I see us in the group. This is great. Happy Friday Eve day to everybody. You guys know how I like to do things around here. I am going live using StreamYard. I've got my Facebook group going, my YouTube channel, and LinkedIn. YouTubers, I want you to smash the subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos. And LinkedIn people, hit the bell next to my name on my profile so we can stay connected. Today, I have a guest expert you are going to adore. Kate Doster is highly regarded as a bundles expert. Bundles are a great visibility and list growth strategy, and you know that I'm all about those two things. She's going to walk us through how we can host our own bundles with ease. So I am so excited to hear about this conversation. But first, just in case we are brand new to each other, I am Tracy Beavers. I'm an award-winning business and sales coach with over 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business growth. And about 7 years ago, I became completely fed up with my corporate career, and I hatched a plan to fully exit. And I want to share with you that in my second full year of business, I busted through the six-figure mark and I haven't looked back. And I share that with you to give you inspiration. If you're sitting in a cubicle in a job that feels like a jacket that is 2 sizes too small, or maybe you've ditched the cubicle and you're wondering, is this business ever going to grow? If I can do it, you can do it. You can build a business just like I have. I teach all organic visibility and list growth strategies, and I've coached hundreds of entrepreneurs over the years, just like you, to get visible and grow your list so you get that monthly income that you really, really want. And the strategies that I teach for list growth are different. We get your list growth happening automatically every day in the background of your business without paid ads or creating more free lead magnets. And if you're thinking now is the time to have a coach to guide you, especially if you're planning for 2025, DM me or email me. I've got lots of options regarding coaching and something for every budget. All right, my friends, pop your questions and comments into the chat for me as we go along. Kate and I will check those at the end, and we will be happy to answer anything you want to ask about bundles. And if you're watching on replay, go ahead and comment and put your question in the chat, and I will find Kate and we will answer it for you. No worries. All right, my friends, I've got to introduce you to Kate. And before we went live, Kate was sharing that in Connecticut right now, she's got really high winds. And so her video might have a little lag on it. So it's not you, it's us, but just hang with us because it's going to be great. Kate is a 7-figure course creator, and she's the host of Do the Brave Thing online business podcast. I love that name. It's her soul's mission to prove that nice people don't have to finish last in business. Amen to that. And thanks to her spam-free sales techniques and bundle hosting ramp-up system, she's had lots of success and taught others how to do the same. And you guys know that I love to ask every guest for a fun fact. Kate, I want you to share this one because I was so excited when I read it.
Okay, so I know, like, everyone's like, oh, like, which one did I pick? This is usually the one where I get fun fact. So
Yes.
way back in like 2005. I went to 2 tapings of The Price is Right. This was back when Bob Barker was still hosting, and it was the absolute greatest. So we had happened to go on a Tuesday, and usually they film an episode a day, but it just happened. And there was a holiday that day that we got to go to a double taping. And the most surprising thing, no, we did not get called down, myself and my cousin, but the room that you are locked in, because you're locked in, is so small. Like I don't know if the new studio with the new host with Drew Carey, if it's bigger, but like it is all side camera angle. I'm like, this is a small little auditorium, but what's really nice about it is like everything is so close. Like the big wheel does actually look big, right? The Plinko board, like it was such a fun time. So
that is
all of my 80s and 90s babies watched it with their grandparents.
Yes. This is so silly, but what I always loved was Bob Barker's microphone was the skinniest little pencil microphone with the little ball on the top, and I always thought that was so cool because it's just tiny little skinny microphone. So did you wear a costume?
I did not. So I was in college at the time, so I wore my college sweatshirt.
Oh, awesome. I love it. All right, let's dive into bundles. Because you guys know that as a visibility and list growth strategist, I am all about getting that visibility and all of it leading to our email lists. And bundles have been great for me to participate in over the years, and they've grown my audience and my list. But here's the thing, I'm going to admit, confession time here. I have not been brave enough to consider hosting my own bundle because it seems like it would be an enormous undertaking. So, Kate, I'm so glad you're here to break this down and make it easy for us. So, let's start kind of at the beginning with the basics. For those that are not familiar, what is a bundle?
Sure. So it's where you are going to team up with anywhere from 5, that's right, 6 people can make a very successful bundle. Anywhere from
Uh-huh.
5 to the sky limit, although I tell people usually cap it at like 20 because that's a lot of it's not people wrangle, but also the decision fatigue from somebody that registers and then has to go through all the items. They get
Yeah.
very overwhelmed. And so that's why I say like shoot for, like that 20, like 30 kind of cap mark. If it's your first bundle, I definitely say, shoot for something in the 20s, and it works out
Mhm.
really well. So essentially what happens for a week, what we teach our students, everyone who's in the bundle is going to send their audience to a registration page or a checkout page, because you can do paid bundles as well, but free bundles. And we'll talk about how to monetize those. Those are going to get you the most list growth. So that's probably what we're going to talk about here today. And so somebody goes ahead, they type in their email address, and then they get to like a claim area or claim page, and then they can pick out all of these amazing items or products that are typically for sale or ones that people want to sell in the future, but they're looking to get some testimonials completely
Yep.
for free or at a low cost if it was a paid bundle. It works really well because unlike social media, you actually have people trying to help you. Like Instagram
Nice.
wants to keep people on Instagram. TikTok
Right.
wants to keep people on TikTok. That's how they make their money. So
Right.
like the likelihood of you like gambling, hitting it big with something that like works, and then trying to get somebody off the platform, it's super hard. So you're playing like
Right.
a war by yourself. But with a bundle, now you have all these teammates that are actually helping you out to finally get that attention that you want.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so a bundle is where contributors like me and you would come
Mhm.
together, probably in a business oriented bundle. And I've been in a couple of yours and they're very well run. And so then let's say we have 10 people contributing something from their
Mhm.
offers, and then we all promote it across social media
Mhm.
and to our lists. And that helps every contributor gain visibility and grow their lists. I love this
Mhm.
collaboration idea. So, when it comes to hosting a bundle, what's the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to hosting?
Oh, there's a couple things. I should state though, to go back to how the bundle works. What
Yeah,
happens after somebody registers is that then they get to pick and choose what items they sign up for. So just
right.
because they gave me their email address to get to the claim area, as we're going to call it, where all like the coupons and all the good stuff are, I don't just share that email list with everyone because that's illegal. It
Yeah,
breaks so many laws, none of that sort of stuff. People do
right.
get to pick and choose what items they want. So I did want to clarify that. So I don't say that there's a lot of mistakes when it comes to running the bundles. But I would have to say, and these kind of go together. So we'll call
Mhm.
them one, but it's kind of two. But it is not having an action plan for after. That's
Okay.
probably the biggest one, especially as a host, and definitely if you're contributing in bundles, because you have a little
Yep.
audio course that talks about that as well. You
Mhm.
need that after plan. And this is where the ramp up system comes into play. Like we'll talk about,
Okay.
there's a lot of different ways as a host and
Uh-huh.
even as a participant that you can monetize the bundle at different stages of the game, but it is that after effect. And so that's kind of where that second one comes in, is that you're not strategically planning it in your year. Have something planned either after, not like immediate, give yourself like a couple of weeks, but have
Yeah.
something big or live or something important, right? That you are doing. So you are strategic. Because guess what? Say if you always launch something in February, you need
Yeah.
new eyeballs. Hosting your bundle in January, that first couple of weeks, now you're going to have all these new people. You wow them. If you're the host, hopefully you wowed your contributors. So maybe they'll be your affiliates. You can always
Yeah.
ask them to be. So now you have all these eyeballs, all these extra promotions, and now
Mhm.
you have someone to actually sell to. So
Yeah.
that is super huge. And this is like I said, where the kind of the secondest part of that is. And that is not being strategic as the business, as the bundle host, or a
Right.
contributor, not being strategic with the item you put in there. A lot of
Okay.
people will do it as an afterthought. Again, you want to make sure that it's teeing everything up to make that next bigger step with you, right? Like Tracy's amazing coaching. She was going to put something that is just like, it makes sense. It's what she wants to be known for. It's amazing, knocks her socks off. That next step is going to be in her higher level programs. Those are
Right.
kind of the two big mistakes we're going to shove together. Because I think when you don't have that, where are they going after? You're
Right.
not also thinking, is my item teeing them up for this to be the next fit? It's just,
Yes.
oh, I'm going to get people.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
nice.
No,
I love them.
right. Now that makes a lot of sense because I was going to ask you, what is the biggest mistake that people like me would make as a contributor? And it sounds like both host and contributor really need to think through the strategy of, okay, I'm going to be in this bundle. Where am I taking them next?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
100%. And again,
Okay.
there's other little things, of course, that we can go into for biggest mistakes when hosting the bundle.
Uh-huh.
Like thinking, for example, that bigger is always better. It's
Right.
not. It's not. It can overwhelm not only the people that are registered, but
Uh-huh.
also the host. Because one of the really big benefits of a bundle is getting to connect with other business owners or people in your niches. And when you
Uh-huh.
have so many people that now you're trying to follow, now you're trying to establish a relationship with, it's just
Yeah.
sort of like everyone becomes like numbers in a cog, right? Or if you
Right.
go that volume sort of mega bundle, right?
Mm.
Now all of a sudden you can have 10 people talking about the same topic. It's like,
Yeah.
well, now with somebody registering, it's like, okay, there's like 100 items, but like 25 of them are how to start a blog. Like, I don't need
Yeah.
any of these. This bundle is not great. So I would
Right.
much rather you slim that down, have a
Mhm.
cap on how many people can talk about a topic. And again, it
Mhm.
depends if it's free or paid, how many you want to have, but you want to be able to not only have the registrants, the people that sign up for it, think, oh, this is such an amazing variety. These are such great items. You also
Right.
want to set up your contributors to get the most signups. And I have 18 other list experts with Tracy, and she's like halfway down the page, which we can talk about tech later if you want to. The
Right.
likelihood that their fatigue isn't going to catch up with them by the time you get to Tracy's is it's huge. She's
Yeah.
not going to get as much exposure. And I want
Mhm.
exposure for all of my contributors.
Mhm. That makes perfect sense. So what I hear you saying is go deeper with fewer.
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree with that completely. It is hard to build relationships with other contributors when there's a million of them. And it is hard to pick and choose in the items in the bundle when there's a lot of the same thing. No, I think those are really great points.
Mhm.
So we talked about a good number of contributors, probably 20 or less.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the money part, because I think
Mhm.
a lot of people want to know, can you really make money with a free bundle? And how does that work?
Sure. So there is a couple of varieties of bundle styles you can host and you can pick from. Some work better than others. I've been hosting bundles since 2019. So when dinosaurs like roam Netscape. So it's not my first rodeo. So
Right.
there's a lot of them. There is
Right.
one that is like the last one that I ran because it was part of my birthday bonanza. So again, thinking ahead, where are they going next? Right. And that
Right.
one was completely free. There is another method where it's a free bundle, but we add a bundle booster. So that's like a $7 to $9 order bump. So it's just
Okay.
something small where it's going to be something like, a tracker or extra
Mhm.
time to claim. Maybe you're doing some co-working sessions or a panel Q&A. That can be
Mhm.
really good. Again, kind of like little stuff to make it easier. And then maybe like an extra like super cool bonus item just from you, the host, right? And
Mhm.
maybe, and this is another way you can earn revenue, and maybe something from sponsors, which we'll talk about in a second when we talk about how to make more money with a free bundle. So there's that
Yeah.
version. That's what a lot of my students do. A free plus bundle booster. Again, a little just extra something to help out.
Mhm.
Then you can have a bundle where you have a free level, and that's all that's sort of on there. That's all that's advertised. You don't necessarily have that order bump, but on the thank you page, you can do an upsell to a VIP ticket. So this is
Ah,
more of a method of thinking like, in a lot of some how you sign up for the free ticket and then you get the all access pass, which has
yep.
extra stuff. It's that way. For everyone, and again, the contributors all know that there's an upsell on the back end, but
Right.
outright, it's just like, okay, you can get all this free stuff here. If you want to upgrade to, a VIP ticket,
Mhm.
somewhere between 20 and 40 or 45, that sort of scenario, You can come do it here, right? And for that, you'd make sure that you get from some of your contributors, they want to do a more premium item. They still have their free item. So that way they can get a lot of just people signing up to their list, but also they can get, you know, some more people that are super serious, right? So that works well, having that sort of VIP upsell at the end. There are some people that have tried, and we've tried it ourselves, where we did more of what's called a blended bundle, or called it a hybrid bundle, where like on the registration page, you're trying to sell, oh, you can have the free level or the paid level. And that one just did not, after all the testing and talking with students, that one just does not convert as high as putting the paid part behind the upsell. It's just the way that it is. You also, if you're going to that way where it's the same page versus a blended bundle, you need to make sure that it is like, you've got like 20 things over here for free, and then you got like 45 over here for paid. You have to make sure that those numbers of items really match up. You would think like value, like, oh my goodness, I can get a $500 course for an extra $100 and all other stuff. You would think people would do that. No,
Right.
They won't. They will buy the upsell. They will buy the VIP. They will buy the order bumps. But for some reason, if you market them both, it's not going to work. And then there is a paid bundle where it's just like anywhere from $9 to $97. You're just paying for paid access to be able to get all these paid products for, again, that one-time fee. You don't have to pay anyone individually. So with the free one, like I said, you can add that bundle booster. You can add that more robust sort of VIP level on the back end. You can do that. You can have sponsorships, or because some people have weird mindset issues when it comes to the word sponsorships. So we call them VIP spots, and people feel a lot better about the term VIP spots. So that's just where they really do. They're like, I think they're thinking of corporate sponsorships in their head. So they're thinking they need to have all this stats, all this data. Are people going to buy soon? What's the demographic? What's their number? Where it's just like, hey, do you want top billing in the spot? Because people sign up for stuff that they see first. And this is human nature, right? Do you want to be in all of our marketing material? And do you want to be in our Q&A? So more people see your stuff and sign up for your stuff. People sign up for that, right? And again, as a host, you're like, okay. So you can sell a number of VIP or sponsorship spots, however you want to call it. I tend to limit those to about 5. Somehow 6 or 7 hours end up in there. But again, it depends on how many like contributors you're looking for, right? Like if you're having 35, being one of those top 7 spots is really valuable. What I've seen from other people that aren't our students is like they're scrolling on the page and like everyone is a sponsor or VIP, and you're just like, okay, there's like 15 people that don't have that tag, but like there's like 45 that do. Like this is disproportionately, it's not as good. But again, some people, I guess they'll just sell it like that. And then again, you can have stuff after your item in there that are your natural upsells, not necessarily a big launch, your natural upsells. You can have VIP links to things. We always have like a resources center or a toolkit section, right? That's got your links there. So there's a lot of different ways that even though we are using the free bundle, and we're just going to free bundle for these as a launch pad for something bigger down the line, because we thought that far ahead, we can still make money at every single point, right? Throughout the pitching process, you get people that are signing up to be the sponsors, right? You're going to make sure, okay, maybe you're going to have the bundle booster thing. So at point of sale, people are going to be able to add to their cart. After your item, on your items thank you page, not the bundles, but on your items thank you page, you are going to have, I really hate calling them a tripwire offer. We'll call them a thank you page offer. So I'm like, I'm not blowing people's legs off. We're going to have, again, and you'd be like, but Kate, if they're getting all this other stuff for free, why would they spend money? How related is your free item? This is what we spend a lot of time in my course about. How much does it make sense for your free item for that next step? And again, especially as the host, you're not going to have anyone who is touching your expertise, right? So like if I'm giving away free newsletter templates on the thank you page, then I'm going to be like, hey, we got a newsletter taken care of, literally. But what about your welcome series, your funnels, if you haven't talked to them in a while, all these things. Oh, look, I have this full big template set where the free thing is from. So I'm not going to have another creator put a welcome series course in the bundle, because that wouldn't make any sense, right?
Right.
Now, when you're when you're a contributor to a bundle, you can't help who else is in there, but you can still think to yourself, all right, what's the next logical step, and how can I even show them? Like, okay, you know, we've got what you're going to post on Instagram But like, how are you actually going to get those videos made, or finding the time to shoot your B-roll? You can whatever, make sure it relates. Yeah, thank you there. So there's a lot of different ways besides after the bundle that you can monetize through every step.
Yeah, that is so thorough. Thank you so much for walking us through that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about summits here in just a second as compared to bundles.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move off the bundle topic, tell us what are the downsides to hosting a bundle?
Biggest downside would be random tech failures. Hot tip, everyone, and it stinks because a lot of us like to launch in March.
Yeah.
Apparently, in February is when a lot of new regulations come into play. And that really affects tech companies. So I want you to like think back, remember back, it was in February when like lead pages died nowhere. Thrivecart would not work for like it worked a day and then not 3 other days and all this other sort of stuff. You know what I mean? ConvertKit randomly dies. Now yourself, when does this happen? Now I realized at the time of this recording, technically Instagram just died yesterday, December.
Right.
Like all of Meta shut down.
Right.
But February is when the apps, apparently they need to actually implement the stuff that they knew was coming for forever. So a lot of them update a lot of their code on the back end, which I did not realize until this year when I was chatting with one of my other friends about it, who's in regulation. And she's like, yeah, because I'll have to do stuff by the 28th of February. I'm like, that's why everything dies in February. So that's your biggest downfall. Hosting a bundle is if your website hosting dies, or there's like a link that's out of place, right?
Yeah.
That's sort of like the biggest headache when it comes to bundle. Anytime in a collaborative event, there's always going to be people that are like, yes, I'm totally going to be in this, and then they ghost you, right? Or and we've had to do this, and again, we always want our contributors to have a great experience. But my biggest thing is I need my contributors' audience to have the best possible experience. So it's like, I heart Tracy, she's the coolest. But if I tell her like, hey, you're still asking people to put in a credit card information for something that's free. I know it's a Thrivecart issue. I know you can fix it in 2 seconds. Take off your upsell and just make its own page for it. And she doesn't. She's not in anymore. Like, she's just not. Like, because I don't want my other contributors having to do with customer support tickets because of another contributor's issue. I mean, it's going to happen occasionally. They'll be like, I tried to download, and for the record, Tracy's stuff has always worked flawlessly, everyone. But they're emailing Tracy. Tracy, I tried to download Sally's free Instagram posting thing, and it didn't work. It's not Tracy's job to fix it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why we make sure, even on our claim area now, and this was something we implemented a couple of years ago, we have like a little button that's like customer support, and it links right to that contributor's actual customer support email.
Nice.
So your own audience come to you first. 1000% they're going to. And we're always tell people like, tell us too, because we want to know as a host. But that's probably the biggest thing. That's like people not necessarily fixing things. So then you have to not be mean, but you're out. Sorry, dude. And tech errors. So making sure you have a backup plan. That's like the biggest thing. It's like, okay. And I'm sure it's the same way with summits. And again, we'll definitely talk about more of the differences a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about summits for a sec, because I know we're with just a few more minutes together. And somebody in our Facebook group, Alicia's here. She had that question: how do bundles compare to summits, and can they work in conjunction? And she also asked how to find and approach aligned contributors. So we could cover both those questions real quick, if you don't mind, Kate.
Sure. So a summit, I'm not gonna lie to you, especially that Tracy's also a big fan of Kristen Miller, but I heart Kristen Miller. She's the coolest. So I always send my summit people over to her. Depending on, with a summit, you can probably get away with having a lot more speakers because you've got a lot of days. And so things are broken up. So are people going to suffer a little bit from overconsumption? Yes, but that's where your all access tasks in. So you might end up getting less sign for your free summit, but you probably end up making more immediately selling your big all access pass if you've got a lot of content to get through. And I always try to be very like frank with people, right? If you're looking for strictly email signups, it's going to be a bundle, especially a free bundle. Cause like, I think a lot of people, even in the non-business space, they kind of get what's going on, and bundle, even in their head. And these work so well in non-business to business, like business to consumer bundles, wildfire, y'all, wildfire. Right.
Yeah.
They Or like, oh, I don't have time to like sit through all those videos, right? From the summit. Let me just, spend the $20 so I can watch these whenever, right?
Right.
The
Right.
bundle, oh, I can sign up for these kind of whenever. Like I got 5 minutes to like scroll and sign up. It's fine. So I do like to be honest with that. Again, if you use her approach, you'll probably make more immediately on the back end with a summit. The other biggest difference, and it's just so much more ease of use. So like, I think people forget when the summit, like especially mostly video, so there are audio ones. You're going to have a video to edit. You've got to times at least 30 because you need at least 30 speakers. That is 30 different speaker pages you need to make. That's 30 different pages that you need to check to make sure all the links work. I think that we forget about, even if you have some like lead pages, where you just like multiply, you're still going in there or paying someone to go in there to change out the video that you had to edit, that you had to do transcriptions for, that you should be having somebody edit those transcriptions, right? You can use AI for captions, but like now you got 30 different transcriptions that need to get put up. You got a lot of people, at least for the All Access Pass, will do summaries. Now you got 30 summaries that you got to go write. You forget
it's a lot
that
of work.
times, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a bundle, the only video that you're creating, I suggest 2, but probably 1, a welcome video so people see your face as the host.
Right.
You just let AI make the caption. Right? You don't have to worry about editing any videos or paying for a video editor. You don't have to worry about those 30 pages. You can technically get a bundle done with 2 pages, right?
Nice.
The landing page and the claim page. Yeah. And if it's you don't have like a paid component, technically that claim page can be on your own website. Just make sure that you Google index it. So it's just like, I can get away with 2 pages, maybe a backup system somewhere because we talked about tech dying randomly.
Right.
As opposed to run a successful summit.
The summit sounds like way more work.
And then all of like, again, if you're not say using deadline funnels, right? Then you've got all of those you missed it pages, right? The you missed it page to make sure the timer is going over and like shutting them down. So it's just bundles are just a lot easier to run time-wise in the background. And the summits are great. And I think that everyone should try both because people are different, right? They like different styles. But especially for a solo entrepreneur, you can get so many more people joining your list with you tag teaming with 15 other people to throw in cool items. I mean, you need 3 pages because you want to have a contributor information page. Okay. Right. And like, people have to submit their form. So I guess 4 whole pages, but outward is 2.
Yeah.
It's just 2. So it's just less stuff to do.
Yeah. The summit does sound like a whole lot more work. So let's get to Alicia's other question real quick before we have to go. She asked for the best method to find and approach aligned contributors.
Alrighty. So I always like to tell people start with just your own network, right? So like if you're in Tracy's Facebook group, message Tracy and the admins first to ask them and be like, hey, like I'm hosting a bundle. Can I post my application here? Or can I ask people to join, right? Can I post in here, hey, do you guys know when a bundle is happening? So again, look what parts of the communities are you already in. What friends have you already made online? So that way you can go ahead and ask them. And the reason why I say start there, even though you're probably already cross-pollinating, it's just to get that yes. It's just to grow that muscle. It's just to have somebody that's gonna go ahead and do it with you, right? And then I don't want to say the sky's the limit. We have what's called the pitching pyramid. So I like a whole level of things that you're looking for here. But it's also just like looking around and being like, who's been in other events lately? If somebody's been in a summit lately and they would be aligned because like, hey, I need an expert on Facebook ads, and you saw somebody in, we'll just one of Ian Freed's amazing summits that she runs, Rebel Boss. Pitch the person that was Rebel Boss, right? Let them know why you know them, things that you've thought of. Again, who are mentors that you want to work with? Who are just people that you're like, they're cool online. I follow them, right? When in doubt, go to like Pinterest or Instagram and just search the topic you're looking for. See who pops up. Make sure you enjoy their vibes and then pitch them, right? Like make your pitch is a pitch, which we talk about inside the course.
That makes perfect sense. So just work through your network, see who you know that might be interested. And yes, in my free Facebook group, people can promote their offers anytime. So if you're in my audience and you're in my group and you're wanting to promote your bundle, the answer is going to be yes all day long. Go ahead and do it.
And ask your friends if they have friends. Like that's why I became friends with Eden. Or no, that's why I became friends with Kristen, because I was friends with Eden And she's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, and I'm like, do you know anybody else? And she's like, oh, she's my friend Krista.
Yeah.
Literally ask your friends, ask their friends, and just go with it, right? Always
Yeah.
you get, you know, you always want to shoot for, say, if you wanted 15, shoot for 20, 22-ish people, because things are always going to dwindle down. Life is always going to happen. Someone's going to accidentally ghost you. Like, you know, stuff happens in other people's lives.
It
But
does.
yeah, that's just, I just let people know, because people, and Tracy said this a little bit before at the beginning, people like to do bundles, but they're a little too nervous to host them themselves.
Yes.
So once you figure out, and you know, again, you can post your application anywhere, but like in Tracy's group, if you really know the 3 or 4 topic pillars that you know are going to get a lot of attention and a lot of eyeballs, then just
Mhm.
say that. Be like, hey
Yeah.
guys, I'm doing one about homesteading. I'm really looking for one that does canning and that does
Right.
prepping. I don't know if
Right.
those are popular. I'm just guessing, right? Do you
Right.
guys know anybody? Do you guys
Yeah.
know anybody?
Yeah.
And
That
they'll
makes
tell you.
perfect sense.
They'll tag themselves, their friends, all that.
Yep. I love leveraging a network for everything. Kate, you brought an awesome freebie for everybody, and I just popped it into the comments in the Facebook group. It's called the Bundle to Bank Workshop. Real quick, do you want to tell everybody what it's about?
Sure. So, you know, I said that there were like kind of sort of some mistakes, and we went over 2 of them. We're going to go
Yep.
over a lot more of them, because again, I don't want you, because I'm not here to say like, oh, bundle's going to take like 5 minutes of your time. It's
Uh-huh.
going to take a couple of hours, especially, you know, a week, especially at the very beginning when you've never hosted one before. But then
Mhm.
once you know how it works, you're going to be able to upcycle all the resources you have. Even if you change your bundle's name, you still have all the templates. You still know where you're going with. So I want to
Yeah.
make sure people are actually doing bundles the correct way to appeal to their audience and to
Mhm.
appeal to the contributor. So that's what bundles is all about. It's about making sure that you're not just being like, oh, I'm going to host a bundle and not
Yeah.
having an after plan. It's about having that after plan. It's about, again, what makes an appealing bundle to people, what makes
Mhm.
people want to promote it, all of those good sorts of stuff. So that way you do not make any of the mistakes that myself that I have
Right.
made, because I've made them all. I love testing things. So that's the biggest thing, is I like to report back on like what is currently working, what isn't
Mhm.
working, what I think was a great idea, but then it's just like, this didn't work.
Right.
Having a Facebook group for the bundle
Yeah.
didn't work. It works for
Yeah.
some. It does not work really for bundles.
Right. Right. Interesting. Yeah. So you're going to shortcut our learning curve on it. I love that. I love it. Okay, my friends, here's what I want you to do now. I also popped a second link into the comments in the Facebook group. I have a super fun quiz that I developed for you over the summer. You're going to want to do this because it's really fun. It's called Unlock Your Secret to Stand Out and Become Unforgettable Online. So go to tracybeavers.com/quiz, take the quiz, and then DM me or email me the results that you received. And if you're listening on the podcast and you're wanting to grab Kate's freebie, go to Kate Doster, KateDoster.com/list and grab her freebie. And you guys know we've decided to do something really fun here in my free Facebook group. We want the members to have a spotlight for you to go live and talk about your topic, present on something that is in your zone of genius, showcase an offer that you have. Or you can go live and just practice going live in a really safe space, because our community is full of like-minded, supportive, kind people that will just be cheering you on as you practice. And if you want a spot to do a member spotlight, reach out to me. We've got a long list right now. We're going on a couple of months, and my Business Visibility Made Easy students and alums get first crack at this. But as soon as we have openings, we can reach out and get you all set up. Kate, thank you again so much for being here. I really appreciate you gifting us your time.
Well, thank you so much. And like I said, don't be afraid to do it. It is one of the least techiest things if you're worried about it. As long as you can cut and paste like y'all, you can handle doing a bundle. You'll be good.
That's music to my ears, because tech is not my love language. Okay, my friends, I want you to be here with me live every single Thursday at 11:30 Central. Put it on your calendar, set yourself a phone alarm. And remember, the biggest thing I share with you every single week, don't try to do this alone. Being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. Some days everybody is buying what you're selling, and other days it feels like nobody can remember your name. And I don't ever want you to think you're alone feeling that way, because it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or you've been doing this for years. We all have days where we feel like that. And that's why we have to get into community and shore each other up. I want you to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And remember, when one of us rises, we all rise. So that is why we have got to keep cheering each other on. Kate, thanks again.
Bye. Thank you for having me.